Hello and welcome back to part 2 of Tears of the Kingdom gameplay. I wanted to showcase a lot of things that you need to follow up after obtaining the paraglider in a short 30-minute video that I posted. Don't forget that if you check my YouTube channel, which, where you found this video, you can also see the Gray Sky Island video that I uploaded that was like meant for a friend, and it details a step-by-step process on how I basically got through the whole island itself. It took 3 hours, but it covered everything as best I can. Like I did my best to explain everything as thoroughly as I could. Now, in the second video, which is 30 minutes long, I went on to the lookout landing, which is where I am standing right now, and was able to basically obtain the paraglider by talking to Pura, heading to the Hyrule Castle itself, not the floating one, but just the flat area over there. Obtained a new shrine and completed the set task required. But what are we going to be doing now? So if you look closely and if you hit L, you will have two more slots vacant right over here and right over here. So this video will basically showcase you what to do next. First and foremost, you need to talk to Joshua and Robbie right over here. And of course, as you can see, there's somebody behind you that you can also somebody behind them that you can also talk to. Please forgive me for rambling about and skipping some stuff in between, or going too fast in the tutorial or in this video to be exact, because I don't really have any script for this one. I'm explaining as I go through things. I think it's like a much more better way this way, because I don't think I'll have enough content to cover, or I won't be able to like match things as I'm a beginner. Anywho, if you see an exclamation point in their chat bubble like that one, that means that they have a quest for you. Right now, if you open up your minus or like menu or map and head to adventure log by pressing L, you can see that the main quest is about the regional phenomena. And if you've watched the video previously, then yeah, it should cover you, or it should cover how you got this one. I do recommend doing the side quest first and completing these missing slots, because you can completely like get past them without obtaining these, and it's pretty important. I, for one, during my playthrough, I basically did not get the last one, and I didn't get the one over here as well until I've already like started one of the main quests. It's okay though. I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to tackle these, but it is pretty essential and it'll help you a lot in your journey in Hyrule. So, talk to Joshua first. Alright. We don't really have the camera that they're talking about. However, if you use the Pura pad and zoom in, or like hit the right analog stick, or press the right analog stick, or R3 as is commonly known nowadays, you'll basically be able to zoom in, place a pin, but it doesn't really allow you to take photos. So our main mission right now is to head into a chasm right there, directly south. If you look at your minimap in your lower right, in that shrine itself, in that strange fire looking ground effect thingy there, is where we're headed next. Okay, we're gonna be heading there. Because it is pretty critical for you to be able to grab all of these things as soon as possible, so that you don't have to worry about roaming around Hyrule without the missing abilities. Oh, okay. Alright. So what I just fought there were styles goblins, I think. They're skeleton versions of the monsters found around the world, and they commonly appear only at nighttime. But they are more frequent in the depths, because the depths doesn't have any sunlight, as mentioned by Joshua. And not to mention, they also drop a number of things, including Bokoblin Fangs. And of course, the Bokoblin Horns, which is a fuse type weapon right over here. So the horns you can always attach to your arrows and to your weapons if you prefer. They're measly and pretty weak. But there is something else that they also drop, which is the Bokoblin Arm. Now, the skeleton arm that keeps moving after it's severed from its body, kind of gross. It'll do in a pinch. It's old and fragile, so it's quick to break. So these are actually weapons, and if you played Breath of the Wild, they are pretty common and you can use them as well. They're more durable over there though. But over here, I think they're good for 1v1 quick matches. But what I'm trying to say is that if you use them as emergency purposes weapons, they will help you a lot in a pinch. But the problem is they're pretty fragile and easy to break, as it says. And I'm not joking. Like I mentioned, it's only meant for like 1v1. So I'm gonna show you a bit of a trick to ensure that you can use weapons properly and utilize weapons as well. You can fuse weapons over another weapon to make it longer, to make it further, or like, you know, make use of it, basically. The trick is to basically have it fuse or like hold one thing to fuse it with. So for example, right now, we're holding a one-hand Bokoblin arm, right? Every Bokoblin arm out there is one hand. If it's a Moblin, it will be two-hand. And Lizalfos won't drop any arms, if I remember correctly. Now, it moves around. It's pretty disgusting. But there is a way for you to be able to use two-hand weapons with only one-hand weapons. And that is by using a one-hand weapon as a base and fusing a two-hand weapon with it. So, by selecting your one-hand weapon, and it's not only for Bokoblin arms, you can do this with your Rusty Broadsword. Anything that is not fused, as long as they're one-hand, then you can fuse it. And right here, we have a long stick. So, press L, select fuse, like I have selected now, let go, and then press Y, help fuse. Now, the Bokoblin arm may be fragile and weak, but having it as a base and having another weapon on top of it basically boosts its damage even further. That means that you will still get a good amount of damage for you, or for your weapons. So, now that we have that, we should be good, right? We should be all good to go. There shouldn't be any more issues fighting enemies. Well, as I mentioned before, this weapon is completely fragile, so it's about to it'll break in one off fight. So if you fight one or two Bokoblins that are red, then both these weapons, fuse material and the arm itself, will ultimately break. So just keep that in mind. But if you have a higher weapon, like let's say you have a Royal Broadsword, remember, which has like 10 or 20 base attack, fuse the Bokoblin arm, or use that sword as a fuse material to the Bokoblin arm, you should have a plus 20 or 22 boost damage. I think it's 20 boost damage, and it will give you a good advantage as well. So right now I'm gonna drop this one, and I'll keep the Bokoblin arm with me just in case we find anything good. But another thing I'd like to point out is that some of the trees at some point will probably start moving on their own. They're called Evermeans. I'm pretty sure that you'll encounter them in your journeys. They're just trees. But you can basically one-hit them with a woodcutter axe or a stone cutter axe or two-handed stone axe. Anything that's basically bladed or edged. Blunt weapons and spears will probably do less damage or no damage at all. But burning them as well can do a huge amount of damage. I don't think they have variants. They all damage and fight the same way. So, you know, just keep in mind. But we'll probably encounter some along the way. 21. I mean, it's okay. It's just meant for damage. Oh. Right? So Choo Choo Jellies, I think I've explained already before what it does and what you can do with it. By the way, as we're traveling, we seem to have encountered a falling star or a star across Hyrule. We should also obtain that. So right over there, if you see that kind of beaming light across the fields, make sure to grab them. Also, while you're here, or while you're encountering any of the chasms, they will always have glooms. These are glooms. Don't step onto them or don't stay on them for too long, as you will run out of max HP or max hearts. I will showcase in a second, but it's pretty important that I can showcase this item as well, as it is, I think it's a star fragment. Don't forget that keys are also pretty essential in aerial combat or bow and arrow combat. I forgot what it's called. Ah, more bokoblins. Nice. Bokoblins are pretty easy to kill, but just take note that depending on their horns, it can indicate how powerful they are, and the damage that they will give off is still gonna be powerful. So they can be, they can appear weak right now, but if they hit you, even if you have armor, as long as they have a high level or a high damage, they will basically still deal a lot of damage. Ah, and we also got blessed with a ruin rubble right over there, which is pretty nice. In your adventures as well, you can encounter acorns like that. Those are Koroks hiding. So those are another one of those Korok puzzles that you can do. If you find the acorns, just shoot them down and you should get a Korok. Or if you have other means, like if you can hit it with your weapon or, you know, break it, essentially, then you're pretty much good to go. I'm just gonna run toward it as fast as I can, because apparently it disappears.
So I was trying to say earlier that the star fragment does disappear. If you get a bit close to it, it'll stop doing that. As earlier you saw that there's a boulder there now instead of the star fragment. Those bokoblins will probably be here still. That's okay, I'm prepared. I hope. There it is.
A mysterious stone fragment that fell from the sky. Its gem-like quality makes it highly valuable. One theory is that it has the power to light up its environment. I'm not entirely sure if they've expanded its uses. If your target is moving too fast, there is now an easy way to take them out. Make sure you have Key's eyeballs. Attach them to your arrows. It'll do the job. There you go. It's so difficult to avoid fighting bokoblin shooters or archers, because they always lock onto you. They can always miss if you stop moving around. Oh, I'm sorry, horsey. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll grab that. I can't. They have a level 12, like a 12 damage bow. Holy moly. Like, that is a huge upgrade. Oh yeah. If he starts doing that, if he starts throwing rocks at you, there's another trick that you can do. However, blue bokoblin horns, as you can see, this is now a blue horn. The red horn is just a single pointy thingy. This is actually really nasty. The two-pronged horn with sharp edges and tips, attach it to a weapon to moderately increase its attack power, or brew it to an elixir. You can see this one now has 7. I think the red bokoblin horn has a 4 or a 3. I'm not entirely sure. If a target is moving and is see that? 22 damage for the skeleton stick. it was still really powerful. Like, you saw his HP bar dwindle to like bits. If you're dealing with less than 22, then it's gonna take you a bit longer. Like, for example, this one. If you use that on him and he had full health, it'll probably take like a couple of hits and the fight will probably drag a bit longer. So like I was saying, he was throwing this rock. I don't think we can showcase it anymore. But yeah, if something is thrown at you, you can recall that. And even though the recoil is slow, if you recoil it back, it'll automatically hit back at them, and then it will they'll take damage basically. Every time you select to the recall, it'll basically pause the game briefly, and you can aim at what you want to recall. So for example, if I left this boulder mid-air like this, and then switch, there you go. It'll actually stop mid-air. It will pause everything, and you have a chance to recall it back. So if you are fast enough, or if you are quick-witted, and your cognition is pretty good, then you should be able to recall enemies, or well, not enemies, but basically the things that they throw at you. Alright, back to our regular viewing program. We have to head back to the chasm. It's a bit further, but you know, the star fragment itself can be sold, and you can use it to turn into a sort of a light beam. It works kind of like a shooter weapon thingy, if I remember correctly. I have never tried it before because most of the time it's a requirement for upgrading gear, and I've never been able to do something like that. So we can try using this one to our weapon. So there you go. It creates light. I don't know if it deals damage. It doesn't deal damage. It just creates light. You can still create, you can still hit enemies with it, I believe, if you're close enough. Which we should have tried there.
There we go. The video is gonna drag a bit, but I will explain everything about the dance, because that's gonna be how this game, or this video, sorry, is about. I do apologize for straying a bit far. But like I mentioned before, I will be putting up timestamps if you want to learn specifically what I did. Just remember, everything you pick up, read the descriptions, and you'll find out what they can do. Experiment with it a bit, if you have spares and stuff. Most important thing to note is that always keep one or two of them in your inventory. You can sell these things if you want to get rupees, but most of the stuff that you find, just, you know, like usual gamers do, we hoard stuff. If you don't hoard them or anything, then just make sure you keep at least one or two of them for safety's sake, because selling everything right off the bat will probably cause you problems somewhere down the line.
Okay, there's also a shrine here that we can do. Going for shrines in the sorry. Going for shrines in the game will teach you basics on things, but they're scattered everywhere and they don't really give you the direct tutorials. So hopefully, you know, you discover something new all the way through as you explore Hyrule. Alright, so shape rotation is pretty understandable. Just make sure you mash the shapes over here. But basically, the shrine is telling you that you can... Excuse me. Turn things around. Like, there's a different type of shape that you can get by changing their formations and everything. Like that one. So for example, this one, we have two different shapes but only one set of blocks to use it for. So if you've already figured out how to do this, then it should be easy. And then as you can see here, there you go. Don't ever forget that you can use Ascend, you can use Recall, you can use Fuse, and it will help you a lot in your journey. Especially Recall, because a lot of people, including me, forgot that you have Recall. Recalls basically let you revert stuff back, you know. It's really, really helpful when you want to try and catch things, or if something is falling really fast, it'll be completely helpful. Alright, there we go. So shape orientations is the name of the game here. Oh, okay, so he can climb up. That I was trying to figure out why I was doing that last time. Alright. And then of course over here. Go ascend. Okay. So the Hasty Elixir is a potion that basically gives you a speed boost, like an overall speed boost. Attacking, blocking, sprinting. Overall movement is sped up. And if you see the icon that has like the 2 arrows pointing, that means that the speed is doubled. Just like resistances, if you see 2 icons of it, it indicates that you are at level 2 in using that ability, or like, that potion. Or, well, technically, yeah, the ability itself. So if you check over here, you can see that it has 2 arrows pointing upwards or diagonally. That means that you'll be given level 2 boosts. If you see, like this one is just a level 1. You see that there's only 1 arrow, right? So that basically gives you 1 boost. Well, this one will give you 2 speed boosts, so you're a bit more faster. To my understanding, that's how it goes. If you find a basically an elemental resist type of elixir, you will see 2. Like for example, you can see my cold resistance is only 1 bar. If you see 2 of those in an elixir or a food that you make, that means you'll get level 2 tiers of resistance. That's to my understanding because I rarely use elixirs. Most of the time, I just use my gears with me because I don't have to worry about the time, dropping down. And there's a variety of elixirs that you can mix. You have, you can hold 5 materials or ingredients, but I'll explain those another time because right now we're gonna need to go through the chasm, or the burning daylight here. So you're not gonna be able to go in here without the paraglider, and you will die. So make sure that you get the paraglider first. Also, here's what happens if you go through and touch the gloom. Brother, don't do it! If you touch that, it'll sap your strength and you'll end up like me. Sluggish to move. So there you go. If you stay there, you can see that your maximum number of hearts will decrease. And then only sunlight or direct sunlight will, or like, a light root will restore your maximum hearts. And only then can you recover your HP from that. But if you don't, then you won't be able to recover your max HP, which is extremely dangerous. And the depths are just a dark and damp, crazy place. So you have to be extra careful when exploring the depths. Alright, so as you land down over here, this is basically Hyrule or Tears of the Kingdom's underground area. And everything here is completely dark. Like, guess how many trees are in front of you? Here's a tip. You can always see the gloom from a distance even without lighting. Like, you can clearly see that there is a gloom over here. But you won't be able to see rocks, debris, whatever, trees, maybe, and other materials that you can find in between. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's bomb flowers here or puff shrooms and stuff. You can also see some enemies ahead. Style horses are over there. And you can see some fire, but they offer like minimum amount of light. We also have the... I forgot what these are called. But you can pick them up so you can... Deep Firefly. You can pick them up and make an elixir out of them so that you can glow in the dark. Literally, your light ranges will expand. As you can see, there is no light ranges within us or like right around us. There's nothing. It's completely pitch black except for the floating dust. It's just Really sad and depressing. Make sure that you crouch when collecting insects. I did say about that already. I believe in the previous videos, like in Gray Sky Island tutorial. You can crouch to basically sneak around insects. Most of the time, it's insects. Frogs and lizards as well count, and the pixies or fairies that you can pick up, which are pretty helpful when it comes to like life or death situation. They can pretty much help. So make sure that you basically crouch and approach them slowly, and then grab them. Around the depths, you can also find flowers like these, the muddlebutt, which can confuse and disorient enemies if you attach it or throw it at them. They're mostly found in trees like these, so if you keep an eye out on trees that have these type of leaves, then you can find muddlebutts right next to it. Puff shrooms will have mushrooms around them, and bomb flowers are also similar to trees. So let's talk to the Zonai survey team first. They'll say that Robbie has ventured further into this light route, and then made camp over there, made camp further, and again and again and again. So if you say that you have bright bloom seeds, they'll tell you how to throw. Of course, it's hold R and then select the material and then let go of R. And then you can use arrows if you have your ZR drawn by holding ZR. Select your material by holding up and then select with the right analog stick and then release all, and then it'll attach the arrow. If you release the ZR, it will basically spring the bow and shoot the arrow. Okay. If you say you don't, then he'll give you extra bright bloom seeds, I believe. So right now, we don't need any of the bright bloom seeds, but be careful because there might be a chasm underneath you that you don't know. So approach this area with caution. Okay, so the hearts showing above you as you open up light routes basically means that it's cleansing the gloom that you encountered. Every time you step on a gloom, you can go back to a light route to ensure that you can recover the maximum heart that has been taken away from you. So for example, if my heart has been consumed, I will no longer be able to recover that HP unless I use a gloom remover. Basically a Sundelion mixed food, or Sundelion itself, I think. Oh, actually you can't use a Sundelion alone, but yeah, if you use a Sundelion mixed food, that basically will help you recover a max gloom, or like a gloom heart that has been consumed. Or approach a light route, or go to the surface to recover your maximum hearts. Just take note that it only recovers the maximum heart. It doesn't really give you it doesn't restore the hearts that you've lost. And if you look closely, if I approach, the heart in the center will appear. Means that it's recovered. So there's 3 ways: by fusing or mixing food. You can also grab by fusing and mixing food, you can also grab your healths back, or max hearts back. Deep fireflies should help you brighten up the area if you can cook them. So we're just gonna pass this. As you can see, the light route over there, once accessed, it acts as a watchtower in the surface area for the depths. It will reveal the part of the depths area, and yeah, it's the same map as the Hyrule map. So it's basically an underground version. It's much more trickier to survey and explore, as it will have different altitudes and hills, mountains of its own that will be invisible to the eye due to the pitch black darkness. Lighting it up will basically help you navigate a lot faster and easier. And there you go. Also, this tree that has lumps on them are basically bomb flower trees. So if you encounter a tree that's kind of this big and has lumps or bumps like that, you should be able to find bomb flowers nearby, as you can see over here. Now, there are several enemies over here as well. Frogs are the resident of the depths. You can see that they don't have any gloom. These, however, have been infected by the gloom, and therefore, every time you are hit by them, no matter what weapon they have, they will take out a max HP or max heart that you have. So you have to be extra careful when fighting them. I think it's okay if you're close to them or basically approach them. You can throw them around. So it's okay. As long as you're not directly hit, you should be fine. There you go. Frogs will give you Zonites. Most of the enemies here will give you Zonites. I think it's just an exception with a couple of the Bokoblins. There you go. Yeah, you can pick up like mini taluses, I think. So that's what they're called. And this is what it looks like if you activated a Bright Blooms. And in the Grey Sky Island tutorial, it's showcased there how to use them. But over here, it's expanded upon on how they're used. So for example, if I attach my Bright Bloom over here and shoot it far. There we go. It brightens up the small area over there. There's also giant Bright Blooms that you can find, and they offer a lot more. And yeah, you don't need to use arrows. You can just throw them, and they can actually like shine up a huge area. And it'll help you with just like minor exploration if you want to get by, because it will help let you see if there is a ridge or canyon or gap in between the floor that you're walking onto, so you can be very careful. Alright, I didn't get any puff shrooms. I want to showcase the types of shrooms in here. So we have Dazzle Fruit that can blind them, the Muddle Bud that can confuse them, the flower, the bomb flower that can, you know, explode, the fire fruit that can actually burn them. The rushrooms and the mushrooms can basically disarm them, according to Reddit. LBPrice62 did mention that if you have them attached on your weapon, they can basically disarm them, but I haven't tried that yet. So I don't have any puff shrooms yet, I believe. If you have a puff shroom, the puff shrooms confuse them. Let's see if we can find more. Be happy to find puff shrooms. I don't think there's any puff shrooms nearby. We got Muddle Buds instead. Alright, so with the Muddle Bud, this is a good example. Muddle Buds basically let you confuse and disorient them, so they will attack their fellow enemies. And it doesn't matter. It's only for a short while though. Oh, they didn't care. Did they see me? No, okay, they see him. There's also a big moblin over there. Oh, they did see me. Jeez. Impressive. Oh my god, he just tossed this guy. There we go. Another one that we can try is the Dazzle Fruit, which also flashes them. You're not affected by it, and it stuns all of them around, so you can start attacking them. There you go. I have a things you didn't know you can do in Tears of the Kingdom, expanding on the use of Muddle Buds and the Puff Shrooms. We don't have Puff Shrooms, sadly. There you go. So you can confuse them for a brief moment. It's just a brief moment, so be very careful. And like I mentioned, one hit from them will basically take out your max HP. So keep your distance, or make sure you have a place to run back to get your max HP back. If you don't, it'll only consume your max HP. You will not be able to recover no matter what you do, unless you get back to the surface or get a good source of light to recover your max HP or max heart. Alright, so another one is a Moblin Horn coming from a red Moblin, a hard horn that resulted from a skull mutation. Attach it to a weapon to increase its attack power. Cook it with a critter to make an elixir. It has 6 fuse attack power. It's pretty good for temporary weapon usage and for low enemy combat. Don't forget that you can also farm zonites here. A lot of the ore deposits here in the depths are zonite deposits. You will find a couple of opals. You will find a couple of ambers and diamonds in between. But it's mostly zonites. And you can use them to process by purchasing from the Great Sky Island and have them turn into batteries, which can help you when you start building your stuff and start consuming batteries and stuff like that. Alright. Start farming them, like so. Just keep in mind that these things break, even if they are, fused to a boulder or such, they still tend to break. Not to mention, you can also take a photo of them, but unfortunately, we don't have the camera yet. So there you go. Breaking boxes, like I mentioned before, so you can grab arrows or lots of arrows. They can have a bundle. Sometimes they will have a just like one quantity, but that's okay. As long as they can give you some, that's good. That's good enough. Because if it doesn't, then you'll run dry of arrows, and it'll be a big problem for you if you don't get any. Alright, so these are the puff shrooms that I was trying to say. Spreads a cloud of fine spores when a stimulus is applied. The bitter powder makes them inedible. So basically, they're smoke screens, and they're pretty effective on large quantity of combat. Fighting enemies with the puff shrooms are pretty useful because they can prevent them from just directly attacking you, leaving them completely open, and then it would basically help them with being taken down as fast as possible. Now, I would like to show more of that. I will have a video uploaded of that, the puff shroom tutorials as well, somewhere down the line, so you can check that out as well. But I do have a video of the muddle bud uploaded already. So there's a group of enemies over there, and there is another group of enemies over there. You can see that their skeletons lit up with fire. We're not gonna go to any of those. And as you can see over here, there is gloom everywhere, and even if it's dark, you can't see the gloom. So adding light should allow you to see what directly is ahead, because like I mentioned, there might be rocks or boulders nearby. Oh, they saw me? Oh, it's the Aracuda. The Aracuda spotted me. Remember your training. Look, I'm just kidding. Remember your combat training. Fighting multiple enemies is not recommended for low levels. If you can, take them one by one. Run if you have to. You don't need to be ashamed of running against enemies. If you would like to fight them, then fight them head on. But be warned, there is a good chance you can die because you have low amounts of hearts for the meantime. Alright. Oh no, our stuff is right over there. What do we do? Well, you have fusion. Use them all together so they can grab them if they're way too far. I have a video on how you can basically surf on the surface of gloom by fusing an icy meat, but if you don't have any icy meat yet, then this will do for now. As Aracuda eyeball can also track targets, I believe. Aracuda wings are the same ones, and then it costs also some zonites. And now their place is left open for you to take. Just keep in mind that there is a large number of enemy encampments over here that you can go through, but the amount of enemies that they have is also plenty, and they can be pretty powerful if you're not careful or cautious. Alright. You can skip this one, the ISIS light route. And here we go. It will basically connect both of them. Light route dispel the darkness, and another area is open. And you can see that the heart pops up to notify that your heart is being replenished because of the light. And we are missing a heart because we got hit. Robbie is here just sitting around. What? I'm gonna skip all of these things. But we found the statue that Joshua was talking about. Pretty impressive, huh? Alright, get that camera viewers ready. It's time to put it to work. Robbie, we don't have a camera. That's right, I forgot you hadn't used the camera when we just last spoke. So there you go. Alright. You will basically install the camera. Your camera is locked and so is your Hyrule Compendium. Hang on. Basically, he's turning on debug options on your phone. Captures images using the Pura Pad, then you can save them into the album. There you go. With the camera unlocked, you can now take photos of everything in the world. Including wells, bloopies, enemies, and certain types of equipment treasures that you can set to track as you venture onward into Hyrule. So, boom! Now you should be able to use the camera and your Hyrule Compendium. So, go capture a picture of that statue. This is a good chance to verify that it's working properly too. Test it out. Experience is the best teacher after all. Once you've captured the image, come back here and I'll see how... So you don't need to go that far. It's right in front of us here. Hold L. It's that slot in the upper right in your basically 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock and the wheel. Let go, and then if it says an exclamation point while taking a picture of it, then that means that you have a perfect angle on the subject for a photo. If you move away a bit, even if it's in range, like if it's in the partially in the box, it won't count because it's saying that it doesn't recognize as the subject for the quest. So you make sure that the exclamation point bubble is present. So as captured, hit OK. It should be in your compendium. I let go. You capture an image of that statue with camera, then hurry up and show me. I'd like to see how it works or how it looks. Oh. Did you get a good picture? And there you go, stupendous. Looks like you've captured it well. I'm sure Joshua will be satisfied with this. Lighting up that immense route, getting us a picture of the statue. You've just started helping us researching what's down here. But soon enough, we're going to have even more to investigate. Well, it's time to head back up to the surface. See you at Lookout Landing. Don't make Joshua wait too long for that picture. Alright. That basically gives you the camera. So now there's only one more missing. Well, what do we do? Alright, so there is two ways to actually get this one. We are gonna be heading back to surrender the picture to Joshua, and by doing so, we'll get another quest. But we can push forward to actually get the last slot for our ability wheel, Not counting the amiibo, but I think it also counts as an ability. Anywho, before I proceed forward, I like to explain that light roots are actually shrines that are found in Hyrule themselves. So the light root that you use right over here, the Nisoige light root, is also the Geosin shrine. It's just reversed, right? So every light root that you found in the depths correlate to a shrine above the world. So if you find a shrine above the world, you may also find the light root underneath it. Or in the depths, sorry. If you find a light root in the depths, there's also a shrine above it. Vice versa, basically. So that's how it goes. And that's one way to keep track of shrines you encounter in the world. You will never run out of shrines as long as you can find them both in depths and in Hyrule. So if you find one in either place, make sure that you check out either ones and you will find them. Just be careful. Depths, layouts, and terrain are completely different from Hyrule. And it doesn't mean that, like, for example, this region here might be locked to just this region. Maybe even further down. But there are certain cases where you can't cross them. So you'll need to enter chasms found around the world like this one so that you can get to those certain locations. Even if you say that you've unlocked the light routes of those, for example, if you unlock the light route or shrine for this area, it will not show you the shrine or the light route underneath. So right now, I have the Ayusu's light route unlocked. The shrine above it is not showing up anywhere. It is still up to you to come by and find the shrine above it. But since you now know that there is a light route here, if you press up on your D-pad, you should be able to make a marker indicating that there is a shrine or a potential shrine in this area. And if you teleport from the Geosin shrine, running towards over here, you should be able to find a shrine. If it's not there, then it could be underneath a cave, because that's also pretty common. It could be hidden or above. I don't know if it works the same way with the Sky Islands. You can see that there's also plenty of those there. They're the only ones that shine in the darkness, so just go ahead. So here we have the statue that we took a picture for Joshua. As you can see, there seem to be a lot of them, strangely enough. It's up to you to come back to the lookout landing area and return to Joshua, which we're going to be doing, because you can teleport in the light routes anyway. You can see you can fast travel in the depths as well. So you don't have any issue coming back to the chasms and then like running back around. No, you have the convenience of actually teleporting or traveling using the light routes as well. Alright. So now that we're back here, we'll be talking to Joshua and explaining those things. And I'm pretty sure she'll be giving us another assignment after this one. Your pure pad can be equipped with sensor that detects shrines. Come on, act more impressed. Okay, so it's gonna be in Hateno Village. Remember, in Breath of the Wild, he has his research lab set in Hateno Village. He basically left it and like went to Lookout Landing to, you know, help and stuff in Hyrule and stuff. But he wanted to get back there so that he can install the sensor for the pure pad. Okay, so the upgrade will be in Hateno Village, which is right over here at the very edge. Somewhere over here. Sorry, somewhere over here in this area. That's still further, but you know, you can get a horse and travel and head there immediately, but just make sure that it'll take a bit of time. Right now, checking our adventure quest log, she didn't give us anything that will regard to our file ability, but here's what we're gonna be doing instead. We're gonna be heading back to the light route. There's a flag here. That's our last location where we left off. So now you can take pictures of, like, you know, animals, enemies, and add them to your compendium. And then if you get the sensor plus or sensor, you'll be able to detect shrines. And if you get the sensor plus, you'll be able to detect whatever you take pictures of. It'll only detect the pictures that are part of the compendium. If you take pictures that are not part of the compendium, then it won't work. So, what are we going to be doing? If we follow where these statues lead, it should lead us to the file ability that we need. I don't remember who gives you this quest, but it was only like I was only informed of it when I was looking through videos of the you know, duplication glitch and stuff like that. And I went around and looked where I can find the auto build and the camera, and apparently it is connected to this one. So if you do the camera quest from Joshua, Robbie will basically say that you can go to the Hateno Village, and if you follow him through the depths, he will basically give you the camera upgrade. And if you follow the statues, it should lead you to the next ability upgrade, or the last ability that you'll need in the game. It is also pretty important and crucial. You don't really need it. Sorry, I don't mean to say that it's important or crucial, but it can be helpful in your adventures, as it will, um, you know, close out the time needed to build stuff. A glowing spirit orb found all over the depths. Offer these to bargain a statue for a variety of rewards. So if you pick up the pose or like blue spirits like these, they're actually currencies. You can give it to the bargainer statue that says pose right next to Joshua, and then he will let you buy stuff. Basically, dark clumps, which can prevent gloom or like give you gloom resists, which is pretty good if you're jumping on gloom areas. That means that you won't be affected immediately, or you can spend in the gloom a lot longer. There we go. Don't forget, these Zonite deposits also respawn once the world resets in 7 days. More rocks. Oops. If you see winds like that, then that means you can, it's an updraft and you can ride the wind by jumping and pressing X again, and you should be able to ride the wind. It will carry you up top, but only to a short distance. As high as its tree. Yeah, so any enemies that has gloom, just be extra careful, as they will attack you. Oh, great. Oh, here's another trick that I have in my video. If you have Dazzle Fruits and you're fighting against style enemies or style skeleton bokoblins, Dazzle Fruit will basically destroy them instantly. So there you go. Grab the long stick. Let me drop my horn. Actually, no. Fuse it with my stick. Now I have 9 damage. It's pretty weak still, but it's an upgrade. So the statue stops over here, and it's pointing right over there, and you can see that there's a silhouette of it right over there as well, just across that area. But right over here, you can also find the soldiers holding the swords that are actually polished. Just drop this. No, I'll drop this one and drop the sword. Traveler's sword, fairly durable, but it's unreliable against monsters. The Traveler's sword that has a shiny diamond right next to it means that they're not corrupted and they're not degraded. They will be more durable, but at the same time, they're also still pretty weak, so you still need to fuse stuff with them. When I say durable, they're not like completely indestructible. They last longer than regular corrupted weapons. 99% of the weapons you pick above ground will be corrupted by gloom or corroded. So just pick up weapons here if you like, so that you can gain more durability. But it's kind of random anyway. Not all of these will be to your liking. If a weapon, according to, I think Austin John plays, he mentioned that if you want a clean version or a shiny version of the weapon to spawn in the depths, you need to break the weapon there first. So you need to actually have the weapon be destroyed, and at one point, these forgotten souls or soldiers will start carrying them around. Like, they will replace these traveler spears, soldier spears, or traveler swords with the ones that you broke. However, it's still random that like every one of these will completely spawn differently, holding different stuff every time. So, just don't rely on it too much. It's still okay if you can use weapons you've found above ground. they will still carry over or have special features like durable, extra durable, extra damage, throwing damage, stuff like that. They will still boost the capability of your weapon, so you don't have to spend all day looking for these weapons underground, because all of them will probably have different spawn points, and you will endlessly scour the depths for these weapons. However, you can check out Austin John plays. I think he basically has a detailed information on how to have them spawn more properly. But I did know that he mentioned that it's still random at one point. Like, even if you break royal claymores, royal swords, broadswords, and the best shields and the best swords in the game, you should, it's still completely random for them to appear being carried by these soldiers. So also, they are scattered around the world in the depths, so you have to look everywhere. And these are just 2 of them here, and you'll need to wait at least 7 in-game days for it to reset. I mean, you can camp if you like, but it's a tedious process, I believe. So, spear used mainly by travelers. It's easy to hold and simple to use. It's not corroded or having corrupted by gloom or anything like that. I do apologize if it's not gloom. My lore and my knowledge in this game is on and off. Alright. This boulder over here can also be fused to your weapon if you prefer. Let me just destroy this one. Destroying fused materials that are attached to weapons or shields will destroy the material completely. But there is a way. There is a town in Hyrule near Hateno Village, I believe. No, not Hateno Village, but basically, it's in here still. Either here or here. Basically called Terry Town, where you can disassemble the materials fused. So if you fused a gem, like a diamond, on a weapon by accident, you can actually have it defused over there. But you'll still need to find Tarrytown, and I think you need to do a quest there for that. It'll take a while to get there, and I'll try to explain those as well in the future. I'm gonna avoid these enemies for now. If you hear the music change, because mostly there's no music, if you hear music change, like a violin starts playing, then that means that there is an enemy trying to chase you or is about to attack you. So be wary of your surroundings all the time. And like I said, if you start shooting bright blooms on certain locations that are pretty dark, you can see that there is a small cliff here. And you won't be able to find that or know that there is a cliff there because it's too dark. This is another light route. There you go. So another light route is found over at the depths, and there we go. It recovered my maximum heart that is corrupted. And if you look up, it's marked as a pin in my Hyrule world. So if I go over here, then that means that there is an actual shrine over here. That's where I died. Somehow. Also, don't forget to flip your map back in the depths, because if you leave with a surface map, then you'll see that your map is surface-based. If you flip it to the sky, then it'll be the sky-based. So make sure that it is in the depths. The arrow that you see pointing right next to the selections in the left side is basically where you are. So right now, if you select the surface, you'll see that the arrow is not highlighted or not filled with yellow. That means that you're not selecting the right map. And if it's filled, then that means that you're in the right map. Alright, so we're making good progress. There's our statue. We keep following the statue. Pick up, pose as many as you can. It'll let you buy the gloom armor from the different bargainer statue found in the depths. That will basically get you a armor that will prevent gloom or it will offer gloom resistance, so that you can like basically cross glooms for a short amount of time, because it's pretty helpful in that case. Also, don't ever forget to grab bomb flowers along the way. Bomb flowers can be found in caves as well. I think bomb flowers are the only flowers that are commonly found in Hyrule caves, but not in like in the overworld completely. Like you can't find it available in the open, unlike here in the depths where they're pretty common. Alright, the statue's over here. There is a Frox over there. Oh lordy. You can take a picture of that. You make sure that you save it, because if you don't save it, it won't count as a compendium. I don't really prefer fighting it, as we don't have the gear and HP right now, so if possible, just run away from it for now. Once the HP disappears, it goes back to normal and it'll reset. There we go. Boulders are more powerful than normal rocks, and ruined rubbles are more powerful than boulders, or more durable rather. So if you can find them, just make sure you attach one to your weapon. Here is our next statue. Keep following that. We'll have to do. I think there was another Lightroot shrine over there that we could have gone and sought after, because there's a huge rock blocking our path. And yeah, this is what it looks like around the depths. It's just complete darkness. But with the help of Bright Bloom Seeds, you should be fine. Just make sure you have plenty, because I only have 45. Pick up the mushrooms. So it's okay if you carry these little palaces. I should have taken a picture first. Ah, it's a wall. It's still facing right over there. It's getting too hard to track down. More of these people. Yeah, so even if they are not... Oh, why did I do that? Need to switch weapons. Hitting them once should dismantle them, and then you can just pick up the pieces. Alright, we do have the Traveler's Sword. I can drop that for now. Pick up the Bokoblin Arm. Use the fuse on the Traveler's Sword. Sorry. Use the fuse on the Traveler's Sword, and we have another 27 damage. Drop the Traveler's Spear. Pick up the Bokoblin Arm. Switch to Bokoblin Arm. Use the Traveler's Spear. There you go. Okay, where is the statue pointing at now? Because we've been losing track. I think it's right over here. There's a statue. Oh, I shot him at the knee. Oh. There's also Zonite devices here that can help us traverse the area. There you go. I think the one thing that's uncommon in the depths is Bright Bloom Seeds, so make sure you have a lot. Bright Bloom Seeds can be found in and bought in Hyrule. Mostly caves will have them. Alright, what do we have here? We have reels and sleds, or actually these are carts. Okay. I think we can come up with something. Can help us traverse this area. Whoops. Right. It's not what I hoped. Oh, I guess we don't have any control mechanism here, so this is gonna be difficult. This is like the broken Batmobile. Alright, it is facing that way. This is gonna be a one-time use only. Because we don't have any controls for this thing, so it will go overboard. Have to follow through. I'm gonna stop here, because I don't want to fight those. Another trick is that if you're exploring the depths, you don't need a flashlight, but you can attach a bright bloom in front of your ride. There you go. Oh god. Quick, quick, quick. Don't want us to see. I don't want them to see. Alright, I forgot that I also have the fragment rod. You can shoot it to just scan the surroundings. Only for a short distance. Style horses are also pretty good way to traverse the world. You just need to catch them though. If you ride one, you'll need to... Oh, you don't need to tame them. Okay, cool. Oh, it broke the tree. I think the problem is that you can't attach the bloom on them. Or the bright blooms. Alright. So I can't see anything. There you go. It's facing this way now. It doesn't hurt them. It does offer a source of light, like it's just a really, really low sort of source of light. Alright, let's me face this way, right? It's facing that way now? Okay. Where's our ride? And that's what I mean. That's why you need bright bloom seeds, because stuff like this you can fall down into. It's pretty scary. Right, we still don't have the controls for our ride, but having a bright bloom available, we should be able to see where we're heading. The next statue is right over here. No, just... Since this thing is actually built sideways, it's actually turning on its own, which is not good. I would like to have a weapon swap, please. Actually, no. It's pointing over here. I think we're almost there. There's a number of light routes over there that you can check out. And... what the heck is this place? Ah, it's a Yiga clan. It's a bit of a spoiler, but there is a Yiga clan hint over here. It's been run down. It still lets me proceed over there. I'm just gonna walk. I can't control the thing anyway. The abomination that I made cannot be controlled. It still faces forward. Don't forget that you can pin in the depths as well. But if you check the map, then the pin will only show up or grow brightly if you're selecting it in the right type of map. So if you have a pin at the depths, it will not appear properly in the Hyrule map. And these are the Evermeans, like I mentioned. If you have a I think a sword should do well, but a axe should be better. Go. And they drop I think they don't drop extra durable sticks. Yeah, you can find them here as well because, you know, evil. I guess if I can hit them a lot better with a sword. There we go. So the journey to get the final ability is gonna be a wild one. It basically details and explains. Ah, here you are. My favorite weapon, the sturdy thick stick. No, grab that. Drop this one. And then with this one, you can fuse it with a Evermean log for a bit of a damage. So now that we have a puff shroom, you can actually just shoot it, move behind an enemy, since it's completely pitch black. Move behind the enemy and then sneak strike. That would instantly kill them, but you need to make sure that the weapon you're using is more powerful than they are. So if you're using a 27 below, you can take out red and blues with 2 hits of sneak strike. There's also sneak strike weapons, which is the 8-fold blades, is much more doable with a sneak strike. And you can always do this every time. You don't need to crouch, you just need to get behind them. They're still bamboozled by the smoke. You don't need to fight them up front. There you go. You don't also need to use arrows either. Just be careful because the enemy that is in the watchtowers can still see you. Because they're not part of the smoke. Go, ow. And you can just throw them, you know, just like that. You still need a weapon to sneak strike. But run behind them. Oh. Sneak strike. Done. It saves tons of time and weapon durability, so take advantage of it if you can. There you go. Again, if you're having trouble aiming at them, don't forget you can attach Key's eyes or Key's eyeballs so that they can home towards the enemy. Okay, Sundelion's wild plant that grows in the sun at high altitude, soak in sunlight. Its petals can restore health depleted by gloom. So if you cook this with anything, it can restore your maximum HP that's been consumed or depleted by gloom. Alright. This is a good place to head back into if you're rushing to complete the areas. Because there's a lot of Zonais in here. Look at the deposit, it's pretty rich. And trust me, you need these. A lot of these. It's not recommended to use logs against the deposits, especially with two-handed weapons. So if you attach a rock to it, like this one, or stone. Okay, it still takes much longer now. It's better if it's a boulder. Boulders basically break everything. Ah, my lord. You can also use bomb flowers, but it's not recommended. It's just like using Irwin bombs. Rock hammer, like these are also good, but yeah, I mean a lot of the bokoblins here are using these anyway, so just use that. Destroyed a good fusion big stick for that. I'm so disappointed. Just drop them if you're already out of the depths. There you go. There you go. Lizalfa Swarm is actually a pretty good addition as well. Shout. Are we here? It's pointing right over there, like straight ahead. So basically, if you already get the gist of it, we're heading to this area here. That particular area. And, the statues stop over here as well. So that means that you've reached your destination. And this is the last statue leading towards it. I think, no. Maybe there's more. And this is why the gloom is pretty important. The bright bloom is really important because... I think I have a larger one here somewhere, which is gonna cover a lot more ground. So there you go. There you go. Don't forget the other posts. Alright. Muddle buds and other flowers are also going to be available near statues and everywhere in the wild. So if you're riding your device or Zonai devices that you built, be careful because they can explode, but they don't really take damage from it. However, if you're running around, you can pick it up, but you know, if you run it with your Zonai device, it will explode. Grand Pearl with glowing spirit orb found all over the depths. Offer these to the bargain statue for rewards. They seem to possess vast power. These are posts that are just much bigger. So we're here. We're here where we need to be. This is where the statues have pointed us. So that is a very long trek, right? But understandably, if you follow through, it's just pretty straightforward. Just keep following the statue or just head directly over here at this part of the map, which is, you know, like really far from Lookout Landing. It's not really that far if you head straight south. Alright. Do we have any portable cooking pots? Okay. This is... Okay, we will need to cook a food that can restore our HP, so... Hold this. Hold the sandaline that we picked up. Where is it? Here. And, hold an apple. Oh. No, there you go. Portables, cooking pots are pretty... Wait. Oh, is it because I mixed Stamella? Okay, that is my fault. Don't mix two types of food effects at the same time. I mixed Stamella, I think, alongside with the Sunderline, and it canceled out effects. So don't make the same mistake I did. Now I will fight with 3 hearts. I do have somewhat of a good set of gear with me. There is gonna be a fight here somewhere. And as you may have noticed, we are still bearing low level armor, like level 3 arcade tunic. You can get one immediately if you have the rupees to do so. I can teleport to this area. I'm gonna skip the dialogue as best I can. But here we will receive the final ability we can get. Alright, instantly recreate your Ultra Hand projects using nearby items and Zonite. Auto build records your previous creations. There we go. As you can see, we've completed all of the ability wheels, including the capture photo. Or camera, sorry, not capture. We're gonna skip this dialogue that they have. But basically, the auto build feature allows you to rebuild stuff with or without the materials you have. It will either consume Zonite if you have if you lack the materials, but if you had the materials, it will auto build immediately, so you don't have to keep picking up parts and then like rebuilding them all the time. Throughout Hyrule, you will be rebuilding a lot of these things, so if you have the auto build ability, that will save you a ton of time. And if you don't have the materials, it will consume Zonite, or Zonites, basically the ones that we found in the depths. You know, the one that I've been destroying a while ago. Those things will depend on how many devices you fuse together, will be the amount of Zonite required to fuse or generate those materials missing in the building process. All right. All right. So the trick is to basically just build. Okay. So whatever you fused, it's already recorded in the auto build. And there you go, you can see it in the history. And then you can fuse it together like that. And you can see that you can build it, but if you don't have the materials to build it, then yeah, it will just spawn the thing. There you go. Now you don't have to worry about manually doing it on your own. So this is a bit of a major spoiler. I am gonna skip this scene here. So for some reason, they had the ability to fuse stuff without actually having the Ultra Hand. He's not difficult to fight. He's really annoying. Where'd he go? I don't have any other weapon that is actually that powerful enough to like take him out. Can I recall him? I can't. How he was able to come up with this shit, I have no fucking clue. Alright, I think that solves everything so far about the devs. Don't forget what I mentioned earlier, and don't do the stuff that I did incorrectly. Like, for example, being able to cook the dandelion alongside with a stamina mushroom. I must have not noticed that. But you can venture here to grab the last ability that you have alongside with the camera. It's just a quick trip, probably 15 minutes tops. And yeah, the video took a while because I basically thoroughly explained everything I could in regards, including the muddle buds and puff shrooms and dazzle fruits and enemies in between. So I hope those prove to be useful. Check out my channel for more Tears of the Kingdom videos, and thanks to LB Price 62 for also helping with the things you didn't know list. It'll still be posted as much as I can, and I hope that the list gets updated for things that you may not know. Not to mention, he is also available on the Tears of the Kingdom subreddit if you ever prefer. He does post the listings right there, alongside with a I think app that will help you with these types of things, with interactive maps of the depths, Hyrule, and Sky Islands as well. With his help, I was able to figure out things that I haven't, and it's available on my channel as well, alongside with the 2 other videos that I posted in detailed tutorial and explaining as thoroughly as I can what you can do in Tears of the Kingdom to basically survive, or basically to have fun, you know? So right now, everything has been complete with the ability wheel. I think the only things left to showcase is advanced combat mechanics, what to fuse, and other fusion types. And yeah, I guess you're off to go. I mean, you're ready to basically explore on your own, and there are still some tips and tricks out there that, you know, not many of us have found, so keep an eye out. So I hope that it was useful. Leave a like or dislike if you feel like it was like crappy and like pretty long. I do apologize. I did try my best to explain it in detail. And I know that the shrines should be able to help you, but I'm trying my best to give more info to a lot of players who does not know what it does, as Breath of the Wild left things completely unexplained, and people who jumped Tears of the Kingdom's gameplay will probably get confused and not know how difficult, or may experience severe difficulty in the game and might give up. So I was hoping these videos would help them get moving forward, stay playing in the game, and have fun. With that, I hope to see you in the next one. You have a wonderful day. Bye bye.